Welcome back, people. Lateness is greatness, and I can already see the chat getting angry. They're like, "You're overdoing it," But just listen to some of your fellow guys in the chat. Patience is greatness. You know what I mean? Am I doing this on purpose? Potentially, but it just gives you an opportunity to gather your snacks, get yourself ready, mentally focused, because it's going to be a difficult game. And I'm sure our guest Kendall, welcome to the show for the first time. I'm sure you're confident going into it. But before we even address the main part of the show, which is obviously just going through the teams, the tactics, everything. Just explain to the people how you support Newcastle and Atletico Madrid at the same time. If we just get this addressed now, then we can just wrap it up. I don't want to see the comments just like constantly asking. Like, already one person, Glory Hunter. So just get out of the way for them.
Glory Hunter. God, I wish I was. I just see two of the worst park the bus teams you could ever choose to support. And Glory is like the last thing I think I chose. But yeah, Newcastle fan, Newcastle born and bred. So literally black and white is in my blood. And then funnily enough, obviously red and white, which is something that I probably never thought I would ever be involved with. When I was 9, went on holiday, saw Barcelona reserves and Atletico friendly game on holiday, fell in love with Fernando Torres, followed his career and Atletico Madrid with and without him. So yeah, that's how I got to support Atletico Madrid.
Mad. Do you know what, Fernando? You've had some great strikers over the years. You've had Sergio Aguero, Fernando Torres, Diego Forlan, and then obviously Diego Costa, who are repping today. Do you know what I mean? Just I don't know if that's going to give me good luck or bad luck. I don't really know. I'm just putting it on there as like this common ground that we share.
Diego Costa Derby.
That is a good title. Shit, I should have used that. All right, well, I'll make an edit, people, and then I'll go back in there afterwards. But that's a very good title. I'm not gonna lie, I might have to use that. Is he playing for you? He's still with you guys now, isn't he?
No. He's a free agent at the moment. He left.
Oh right. Yes, he is, because
he left just before January transfer window. Yeah, because we signed Moussa Dembele instead.
Yes, I remember. Yes, he was getting linked with Wolves ever so slightly, and I was like, oh, that would be interesting if that happens, because they've got these strong connections to like Portuguese and Spanish players and whatever in Brazil. Before we get into the preview as well, I want to go down memory lane. A good point for us and obviously a good point for you. Last time I remember us playing you, I think was at your stadium at the Metropolitan. I think this is your first defeat as well at the ground, which was a 2-1 win for us. Goals from Morata, Batshuayi last minute winner.
Yeah, I remember.
Marcus Alonso played. It was Conte. And it was David Luiz, and it was actually not the most attractive back four in the world, but back three, sorry, but it got the job done.
That was the game. Griezmann got a penalty, wasn't it? And Griezmann scored the penalty. Yeah.
Great game. And to be honest, it's very rare that I hype up Batshuayi and Morata and Alonso and Bakayoko, but I'm not gonna lie, I would feel a little bit more confident. Just maybe it's I don't know what you call it, but maybe it's just like juju. If they were playing, I'd be like, okay, cool, perfect. We have a chance here because these guys know what they're doing. I'm not so confident going into this game with mainly the injury, the team news, but we'll get into that. And then the other fixture I remember was this guy doing a madness at Stamford Bridge. I think he got a penalty, slashed it in the top corner. Yeah, Mourinho's season as well. I think it was his first season. You guys knocked us out the Champions League semi-final. But you guys have got
you remember the classic Arda Turan, he scored as well.
Yeah. You how long's Diego Simeone been at your club now? It feels like forever.
Yeah, he got I don't actually know physically how long it is, directly the years, but he did get Spanish manager, like La Liga manager of the decade, like the end of last year. So it's a long time that he's been there. I wouldn't even like to guess how many years specifically now, but it's a long time.
It feels like a similar, I think 7 years, someone said. That's what I was guessing. Kind of similar to maybe a Klopp Pep type amount of time where he's just been there forever. Someone said 10 years. I don't really know if that's correct. Is it really 10 years? Can't be. No, 10? It's not.
Nah.
No, it's not, because that would mean it would be 2011. That's not possible. There's no way. But let me check.
I can't remember.
There's no way if he's been there that long. This is why the confidence is a little bit low, because your manager's been there for so long. It's like he knows your team inside out, and our team is obviously he's only just joined. So
do you know what? It might be 10 years. I think he joined when I was in year 11, and that's 2011, and I think that's when I vaguely remember him joining that summer. So it could be 2011.
That is so rare for a manager to stay at a club that long. Surely that's not true. That is nuts if it is.
Are you searching it?
Yeah, I'm definitely searching it, because that's wild. There's no way. How
You know?
obviously you guys have been making it, while I'm looking, you guys have been making it very far in the competition in terms of just every year. You seem to be minimally getting to the quarterfinals. Are you confident? Just what's your confidence going into this game over 2 legs? I think if it was 1 leg, I would be more confident for Chelsea to get through just on a one-off. But because it's 2 legs, I'm a bit worried.
See, I'm concerned because obviously the league is so up here this year, and pretty much everyone's been saying it's Atleti's league to lose. So that's what's concerning me, because I don't think that if you are playing at that sort of level and that intensity for both the Champions League and the league, that you can do both. That's what concerns me a lot. And obviously, like, the team has had a lot of injuries recently and COVID related, you know, people missing. So, I don't know. I think, as I said to you, like, before the stream started, that it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think everyone just thinks Atleti's going to be, you know, straight there and they're going to be the ones on top. But I do think it'll be a lot closer than a lot of people expect. Yeah,
we just got it confirmed. It is December 2011, so that's basically 10 years. That's ridiculous.
I could remember I was in year 11, and I thought I could remember him coming then.
Yeah,
so,
that's wild, and that's what worries me, is that there's a lot of familiarity with Simeone in your club, and obviously, you know, 10 years, he knows every single player inside out. It's very rare in the modern day that a manager gets to lay down the foundations and the structure for so long and get to know each player individually just as best you can, really. Yeah. I think he might be probably the longest serving manager at any top club. I can't think of anyone that gets
probably at this point he probably is.
And then obviously massive difference with us. Thomas Tuchel, he's been here for a month. Obviously at the weekend we dropped points, so to tell you just how we went through that weekend, we obviously drew against Southampton. Zuma had a mistake, and now it's coming clear. I was quite confused as to why Zuma was playing in the middle of a back three, because he's not really a ball-playing centre-back. But it's now clear he was resting Christensen because Thiago Silva's not available, which is obviously the big team news of the day. Anyone following Chelsea would have known that. Everyone had a meltdown. I think everybody's calmed down now. How are you guys feeling in the chat? Are you good? Have you guys calmed down since the Thiago Silva news? I don't think it gets any worse than that. I was praying that he would be fit, but obviously he's out. And obviously, you know, I think he's 36, so we've kind of just taken the piss, and now it's got to the boiling point. That's really what it is. We've maxed him out, squeezed him out like a sponge, and it's got to boiling point, and he's obviously fell apart. But I addressed that yesterday, so everybody knows about that game. In terms of you guys, what happened over the weekend? Because that was your second defeat in La Liga. That never, like, you guys don't lose. Your defensive record's been really good this season. I think it was like 11 goals conceded potentially before that game, something around that. Suarez is in great form. He's top scorer for you guys. I think it's like 16 goals and 18 or something like that.
16,
I don't know how I remember this. I'm really just freeballing. I'm just freeballing these stats right now. Felix is obviously a big part of everything. So how was the weekend? What happened?
They had 2 shots in target and won 2-0. is basically what happened.
And it's wild. Like, you guys had 28 shots, 11 on target, the main share of possession. You dominated, but they kind of just did an Atletico Madrid on you.
Their goalkeeper was phenomenal, by the way, and he's played 2 league games this season, and he's their number 2, and he was absolutely phenomenal, like, genuinely Cardenas. He was unbelievable. He's only worth 600k as well. If I was like a Premier League team now who really were looking at a goalkeeper, I would honestly be looking there. And I know obviously Chelsea made the mistake before of doing the whole Kepa thing where they bought him based off like a couple of really good games. So maybe it's not the way to go, but I do think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's 23 as well. So he is only relatively young. He just had a really, really great game. We dominated. We had shots. Suarez missed loads. It was just a nightmare. It was one of them awful games where pretty much everything that went wrong could have. So it just wasn't great viewing at all.
It's a weird one.
We only played them like 4 days before as well, because it was our game in hand. Like, there was a game in hand we had against them. So we played them twice in a week, and we drew 1-1 the first time. So it was 2-0.
Really? So
it was crazy.
Is this the type of game where, because obviously I didn't watch it, which I really should have, because I would be able to take my notes and do my homework and then do a bit of scouting. But is this a situation where you're worried going into this game because of that result, or is this just a minor blip? Because you are having a little bit of ropey form, but again, I don't really even know if I want to call it that, because Southampton has 6 defeats in a row, and then we allowed them to take points off us. So it doesn't really change anything in the grand scheme of things for us. But what about for you guys?
So I think the last 4 games, I think it's a loss, 2 draws and a win possibly. And it was annoying to lose at home at the weekend because before that they were like obviously unbeaten at the Wonder for over a year, so it was just like it was just a bit annoying and you know, frustrating. But I am worried going into this game. As I said, I think it'll be a lot closer than people think. Both teams, both managers are very tactically minded, and it'll just be a case of both trying to outplay each other's tactics. I think that's where it's going to be. So I don't think it'll be a goal fest at all. I think there'll be a couple of, you know, moments of individual brilliance coming through from both sides, and that'll be where it is. But I don't think it'll be like a, you know, as I say, a goal fest at all. It'll just be a very tactically sound, cohesive game, I think.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's interesting because you spoke about earlier about juggling La Liga with Champions League as well. You guys are 3 points at the top of La Liga with a game in hand. So it's not like you're running away with it. You had like quite a lot of games in hand. Like you said, that was your game in hand against Levante. But you could have pulled away, but you kind of haven't because of the recent form. I think Real Madrid have won 4 wins in their last 5. Barcelona 4 wins in their last 5. Sevilla 5 wins in their last 5. So everyone's kind of catching up to you a little bit. And you spoke about the difficulty of juggling La Liga and the Champions League. And you might have to pick if you want to go far in one or the other. We had the same kind of similar opinion. Anita, who's obviously from Football Terrace as well, she's kind of saying maybe Chelsea, not that she wants them to go out, but if Chelsea were to go out the Champions League, that might actually help us in the top 4 race, which you know is quite, you know, quite a reasonable thing to say as well, because we have a lot of depth, but the quality in depth is a bit slacking as well. It's an interesting one because it's not like Premier League where Man City have just gone clear. If I'm not saying for you to pick, but which one would you lean your hat on in terms of securing? Because I remember when Barcelona and Atletico a couple of years ago, they went toe to toe, I think, in the La Liga race, and I think you guys might have lost it on the final day, or you won it on the final day. I can't remember which one it was. Did you have them at the new camp or something on the final day? It was.
Was this 2013? That was the last time we won it. So
you won it, yes. You won it on the final day at the new camp or something like that. Do you feel like if you had to pick, or would you kind of understand if you were? Do you think that your cases will be stronger in the La Liga if you come out the Champions League and vice versa? Is what I'm trying to say. Do you have the depth?
Yes, I think, and personally, I feel La Liga is more doable than Champions League. You know, despite the form Bayern have been on at the moment, you know, Man City again, I think they probably have a good chance of it this year, because all of the top teams, PSG, Bayern, Atleti, are all struggling with form at the moment. So I just personally feel like La Liga is more doable in my opinion, so that's why I would like to focus on that. And obviously a league win above, you know, the likes of Real Madrid and Barca, which doesn't happen very often and hasn't happened for a long time, is amazing. And I just, the way the club is heading, I think if they win the league, that will direct where Simeone goes after this season, where Oblak goes after this season. So I think the league is much more important in terms of the direction of the club to win this year. So if we go out of the Champions League, I'm not too bothered about it. Obviously I'll be upset, but I'm not too bothered if we do. It's not going to be like a, you know, detrimental to our season or anything like that.
Yeah, I think when Real Madrid and Barcelona are slacking per se, it's a good opportunity to capitalise. So that's probably what everyone will be thinking in the back of their mind. I think Oblak was a goalkeeper we wanted as well before we got Kepa, but we didn't have enough time to get the deal done because we got pressed by Courtois, who left. But before I start tearing up, we're going to move on from that because Oblak and Kepa are 2 worlds apart, and I really don't even want to get into that because that's just emotional. Someone asked me here a question. What formation do you think Tuchel will use against Atletico Madrid? I honestly don't see him changing from the back 3, which is what we've been playing. It would be quite a surprise and quite a shock if he were to do so. Obviously, Thiago Silva's out, so that's depressing. Just to make it very clear, that is our best defender by far. So we're way weaker in defence without him. But Christensen should be better than Zuma was. He's been decent stepping in. But obviously, the one thing I will say with Chelsea is that since Thiago Silva's been gone and Christian stepped in, we haven't faced a top striker like Luis Suarez. You know, when we came up against Tottenham never had a focal point. Harry Kane wasn't available. So Son was kind of isolated. And again, they was just negative FC, World War Football 2 FC, fossil football, as expressions like to say. So they really just settled with a really low block. Someone saying, can we do a combined 11? Yeah, we'll give it a go towards the end, 100% when we go through. So this is really what I'm saying is a big test for Christensen, for Rudiger, Azpilicueta, who are kind of expect to start in the back 3. They haven't come up against Felix, Suarez, you know, these level of forwards. It's fine doing it against your Burnleys and your Sheffield Uniteds and whatnot. And like I said, you know, big up to the guys for collecting the points and getting us back into the top 4 in about 20 days from 10th to 4th. We've been good. We're unbeaten. But this is where it gets serious now. A serious season, as I say. We've got you guys, Manchester United on the weekend. So this is going to be a big test for our defence, who haven't really been conceding many goals. I think 2 under Tuchel and 1 was an own goal. Where would you say you guys' strength going into the game? Who's the danger man? Because I know it's obviously maybe Joao Felix, but there's some hidden gems in your team as well, which maybe the viewers might not really know about, really.
Yeah, so it's definitely attacking options. Obviously Felix and Suarez, they're going to be the danger, of course. If Carrasco was fit, he would have been my next pick. Unfortunately, he's not, and he's now out for the foreseeable with a thigh injury, which I'm absolutely gutted about, to be honest, because aside from Suarez, he's probably been my player of the season so far. But the other person I'll probably definitely, you know, back to turn up is Marcos Llorente, because he has just absolutely been on fire. He's turned up. His game has changed completely. Obviously, I've just seen the question flag up on the screen. This is who I'm probably going to say, Marcos Llorente. Obviously, he hasn't been with us a long time, only there since 2019. But the way he has stepped up into his role as an attacking midfielder, he's even stepped up on the right at some points. And, you know, he just is really, really good. The way he moves the ball is just so nice to watch. And, yeah, I think he's definitely the one to watch in the game.
Interesting. That right-hand side will occupy who? Marcos Alonso or Chilwell? I want you guys in the chat as well to tell me who you would want, Chilwell or Marcos Alonso. So just type out in the chat, let me know. There's a lot of disagreement as to who should start at left wing back, because obviously Marcos Alonso has got the experience in Europe, experience in the position. He's good for a goal, clutch goal, which potentially we may need. I've always said when I was earlier on another channel, is that if we are to get through this tie, I don't think we can go to this game and not get an away goal. I think an away goal is crucial.
Okay.
I think if we were to get a 0-0 at your ground, I would make you even more favourites to win, because I think then if you can get a goal at Stamford Bridge, we need 2 and so on. It just becomes an uphill battle where now we have to win at Stamford Bridge. So I feel like we need to get an away goal to take back to the Bridge, especially a team that doesn't score a lot of goals. And of course, I don't think we're even playing in the Bridge at the return leg, actually. I think we're going to be somewhere else, maybe Budapest or something. I have no idea. Right. And this team's not a free scoring team. You know, we've got a lot of attackers. We've got a lot of depth. Pulisic's not on form. Ziyech is not on form. We've got Giroud, who's in and out. Tammy, in and out. There's not like you guys with Felix and Suarez, who are on form and been doing very well this season consistently. We have just forwards that can deliver, but we don't know if they're going to. If we were to all place our bets as to who would deliver, we would all have different answers. And that's worrying in itself, because it just goes to show we have no one to rely on. Do you think Christensen has the concentration against world-class strikers? You want me to be honest? do you want me to be honest, guys, or do you want me to be honest, or do you want me to be optimistic? Which one do you want? It really depends if you're ready to get your heart broken. Matisse is shook on his own stream. Yes, I'm shook. We're coming up against La Liga leaders, and we've only had 1 month of Tuchel time. Do you see what I'm saying? If we had more than 1 month of Tuchel time, I might be a bit more confident. It's very 50-50, guys, in the chat between Chilwell and Alonso, which is a lot of people going for Chilwell. So fair enough. It seems to be. I think
defensively, Chilwell offers a little bit more than Marcos Alonso, but Alonso going forward, I think, is probably better. But Savic and Alonso used to play together at Fiorentina, I believe. And Savic just kind of said in the press conference today that he knows how he plays a lot. So if it was the case that he was going to start, then obviously he would kind of direct the team in that direction if Alonso was going to start. So maybe it's not a good idea to play Alonso for that reason. But it depends what game plan you're going to go into the game with, because as I say, they both in the position offer different elements to the game for me. So it depends how you're going to set up tactically obviously who starts there, I think. Someone
said we haven't been good. Atletico haven't been good in recent form, Matisse, and that's why I'm more nervous. Do you know what I mean? We just played Southampton with 6 defeats back to back, guys. There's no way I'm going to be confident just because they lost to Levante. Do you know what I mean? That's not happening. And to answer this question, do I think Christensen has the concentration? I mean, usually I prefer not to speak, but if you want an answer, no. and that's just, that's just the hard truth. Because if I was confident about him against world-class strikers, then he would be a player that starts every single week for the last, last few years, we wouldn't be questioning him at centre back long term as a starter. If that question was a yes, if that answer was a yes, then we wouldn't have any issues with Christensen. But clearly, there have been issues over the years. That's why he's not a consistent starter. So obviously, it has to be no. I'm not confident. I hope he can handle it, but not confident. What I am optimistic about is that the fact I heard on another stream that obviously Jimenez is out. We spoke about it off air. Jimenez is out. I think that would be right to say your best defender, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, so that gives me hope. I know the structure's good, but individually, maybe we've got some players 1v1. Mason Mount have been saying in the last few weeks, despite his decision making at times, 1v1 in the box, he's been really, really good. He's been able to get past a man. Against Southampton, he skipped past quite a few players, draw fouls, won a penalty. Hudson-Odoi, 1v1 can be a threat as well. Pulisic on his day can be a threat. So if these guys can really go 1v1 against these Atletico defenders and maybe isolate the structure and go for the individual actual defender and see if they've got the ability to stop them, it would be an interesting battle. Formations-wise, what do you expect to see from Atletico formation-wise?
So the favoured formation for quite a while now has been 3-1-4-2. In the last game, it was kind of switched up based on injuries, and it was 3-4-2-1. So I'm expecting any one between them. I'm assuming now Jimenez is out, they're going to go back to a 3-1-4-2, just because obviously then the DM can drop deep if needs be. So I'm assuming that's probably where they're going to go. Obviously the front two are going to have to be Suarez and Felix if you're going to attack this game. If not, I think it'll be Suarez and Correa, and Felix will come on, midway through the second half. I think this is what I mean. It depends on how he attacks this game. So if he's going all out, I think obviously Suarez and Felix will start. If he's sitting there thinking, well, oh my God, I've just done a Charlie Nicholas. If he's sitting there thinking, if he's going to think to himself, okay, Chelsea aren't defensively, they're not. That's the weakest part of the team, if you will. The centre backs, in my opinion, not weak, though, just the weakest part of the team. Then possibly Correa might start, but I don't know what he's going to do in midfield, because obviously now Carrasco's out, which I mean he was anyway. Vasalico's out as well. Lamar is back, so I just don't know what he's going to do in midfield, and who that one that drops deep is going to be, because it has been Koke and it has been Kondogbia as well. So it just completely depends on what his mindset is, really.
It's similar to Tottenham when we played them, where they were mashing up between, did they go with two in midfield or did they add in the DM and sacrifice the attacker? And they ended up adding in a DM, I believe, as well. And it's really because the way we play is that we have a pivot and then we have two fake 10s. So we could outnumber you in midfield if you don't add in that DM that you're talking about, which is where I would hope we would get some joy. If we can be quite, if we can be quite, dangerous with our passing, and obviously it's a risky pass to play a vertical pass between the lines, but that is really what we need to do to break your structure. Then we can maybe funnel the ball into the likes of Mason Mount, into Timo Werner, and turn and run at your defense, and then we might have a chance. Yeah,
the midfield is where I worry. That's what worries me the most about Chelsea midfield. Yeah, because yes, our midfield is strong if you depending on how you look at obviously the formation, but because they are playing so attacking at the moment, it makes the channel between the defense and the midfield quite wide at certain points, that's where I'm concerned Mount's going to come in and utilize that space. But whether or not that happens, I don't know.
So someone's asking there. So will it be Saul Niguez, Koke, and who would be your DM? Do you think? Would it be Torreira or Kondogbia? Who will go in there?
See, I'm not Kondogbia's biggest fan, I must admit, but he has had some bright moments in the games that he's played, but I just prefer Koke there. And now Lamar is back. That allows Koke to drop in that position, because Lamar can kind of fit in the midfield four if that's what they're going to do. I do prefer Koke in that position. More experience, more awareness of that sort of game. That's what I would probably do.
Yeah, and then for us, we've got our own headache, which is who do we play in midfield? Do we play Jorginho, Kante, or Kovacic in terms of who do we pick in the two? Me personally, on any normal day, normal situation, I'd say Kante has to play. You're away from home in Europe. You're playing against Atletico Madrid, one of the best teams in Europe as well, and you need Kante in there. However, every time Kante comes in, he individually, as an individual, played very well against Southampton. I think Tuchel highlighted him as one of the best performers. But he doesn't have a relationship or a partnership with any other midfielder so far. So I always say in midfield, it's a tango. It takes two to tango. Like you can't really play in midfield on your own, have your own masterclass, and then everything around you falls to shit. But at least you was a 9 out of 10. You need to have a relationship with the person next to you. And I feel like Kovacic and Jorginho, they're not as good at their best, but they have a partnership where they can actually, there's a mutual understanding between each other and how to conduct a midfield. So I would personally go with those two. But I would still be worried because there is a lack of mobility there when it comes to defending. And you're talking about Joao Felix. I hope he starts on the bench, but if he does start, he's someone that could get in between the lines. And then you're asking Kova and Jorginho to chase, chase him, and that's a worry, obviously. So I'm saying Kova and Georgie just for the relationship in terms of on the ball. I think we'd be better. However, not confident. Not confident, and it really goes. That really goes for most of the team in terms of who I'm picking in terms of lineups. I'll go through who I would pick first, just for you guys in the chat, and then put your lineups in there as well. We'll save the combined 11 for the end. I think Mendy has to start for us. That's clear. We spoke about Kepa earlier. Won't do it again. Back three: Rudiger, Christensen, Aspie again. I think that's the same. Our defense, in fact, from when we played Barcelona. I think Lewis was saying this earlier. That defense is the same defense that played against Barcelona where we lost in 17-18. We as a club, for some reason, have been undernourished defensively in terms of spending. We bought Thiago Silva. And then we haven't really spent elsewhere apart from Rudiger. 32 million from Roma. I think we bought David Luiz as well. Same kind of price from PSG. Apart from that, we kind of neglected our defense in transfer windows. So I would like us to go into the window this summer and eradicate that. But yeah, we're going with defenders that at the top level, I worry about them. Champions League latter stages, I think they're there to be got at. Wing back. Yeah. Someone asked me about Reece James or Hudson-Odoi. I think it depends on who the left wing back's going to be. I think you said it might be better to play Chilwell, the athleticism, and not getting caught out by Llorente. We know Alonso can be quite sluggish in getting back on transitions. I would personally go with Chilwell, and then I would counter the right-hand side then with either Hudson-Odoi or Reece James. Hudson-Odoi is better going forward. He's more of a winger, 1v1, probably can get around a man a lot easier. But then Reece James defensively will contain Joao Felix. What would you recommend in containing Joao Felix if he was to start on that?
Reece James, it would be for me, 100%. Because I feel if Hudson-Odoi isn't defensively aware at that point, Joao Felix is just going to run rings around him. Because Hudson-Odoi, obviously, as realistically, origins in attack, is going to be thinking more attacking wise up the channels. So if that is the case, if I was you guys, I'll probably go for Reece James. Yeah,
I was thinking about since Lawrence's stream, I wasn't sure who I would go with, to be honest, because there's part of me that wants to go with Callum Hudson-Odoi because Reece James at right wing back sometimes can be a bit cautious with his forward passes. There was a moment in the Southampton game where he had the opportunity to pass it forward to find Timo Werner. He just didn't spot it after he dribbled around a few players, and then he passed it back from Mount, and then we lost possession, and I was like, you just killed another attack. But then, like you said, defensively, in terms of going up against your probably most threatening, 1v1 player, we need to be putting a defender over there to help Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta is very good positionally, but he's also getting on a bit. I don't want him to just be completely isolated. And then on top of that, you've got a midfield of Kova and Georgie who can get isolated as well. Then probably Reece James does need to play. So for me, I'd probably say Reece James and Chilwell at wing back. Like I said, Jovetic, Georgie and Kova in midfield. And then the front three, then it kind of just leaves it down to Mount, Hudson-Odoi and Timo Werner, I guess. I mean, I do want to see Kai Havertz up front, but I don't think he's fully fit. He's just coming back. It's highly unlikely, and this is going to be a doggy game. So what about you? Who would be your lineup?
Obviously all black. I don't think anyone's gonna
who is your second choice goalkeeper?
Is it Garbage? I don't know how you say his name.
Garbage. You heard that right. Garbage.
I don't know how you say his name. And then it'll obviously be the only way I can see them set up if they're going to go three at the back is Hermoso, Felipe and Savic, because obviously Jimenez is out now.
Yeah.
Then in front, it completely depends if they play Lodi in the midfield four, because, well, if you want to call it midfield four, because if they play Lodi, that means Koke can drop as a DM. If they don't play Lodi, then they'll play Koke in the mid four, then probably it'll be Kondogbia as the DM. So as I say, it completely depends. I don't rate Lodi as in that position. I prefer him in a flat defensive line, if you will. So it completely depends what they do there. Then for the other three in the midfield four, I hope it'll be Saul, Llorente, and probably Lamar. But as I say, if Koke dips in there for Lodi and Kondogbia alternate, then that'll be that. And obviously the front two, I'm hoping it's Suarez and Felix, but Correa could make an appearance as well. As I say, it's so, I really don't know how he's going to go into this game. And obviously the formation's been 3-1-4-2 a lot, but apart from the last game where they did 3-4-2-1. But so I really, really don't know how he's going to go into this game at all. I'm actually excited to see what's going to happen.
One thing I do know is this is going to be a really good tactical matchup. Yeah, really good. Like I'm like I said, I'm not confident, but I'm still excited because I just feel like there's so many little details that are going to, every time we play Atletico, which is not often, but the game tactically is so fascinating to watch. Whether it was Jose Mourinho versus Simeone, whether it was Conte versus Simeone, it's always a tactical game, and you can see little things and little finer details being changed throughout the game.
Both teams always get a goal as well, at least.
Yeah, so I'm hoping for goals. I'm not only just for the content, because I've got to speak about it afterwards, but I don't want to sit through a 0-0. Like I said, a 0-0 doesn't actually suit us, in my opinion. I think that's the last thing we need, because then you're going into the home game, which isn't really even at home, and you're putting yourself under pressure to keep a clean sheet. Every goal you concede, you need to respond. This question here, Matisse, do you think Ziyech should? Absolutely not. Next question. No, this guy is not on form, people. Ziyech is not on form. We don't have. This is not the game you bring a player that is completely out of form and just really been extremely poor in every time he's featured in the last few weeks. He hasn't been good. This is not the game you dash him into. This is a big week for us. We need to get a result here. I want to go far in the Champions League as far as possible. I wish it was last season's structure, which was just knockout games. I feel like Tuchel and PSG thrived. It was great. I found that very entertaining last year. I was watching that. I was like, every single game is just straight knockout, and it brought more out of both teams. Like, no one was really cautious. They just went for it.
Because everyone was on the Ray game. Like, I loved it. It was so exciting.
It was great. Very entertaining, very attacking, cutthroat, like real cup competition. So I think if it was like that, like I said, I'll give us more of a chance, but it's not. So we have to go with it. Someone in the chat said Jimenez is a bad boy defender. He is, and he's not available. So good news for us there. Obviously, they lose their most important defender. We lose ours. So it kind of just counters each other out there. I want to speak to you as well about our managers, because they're obviously both high profile. Both haven't won the Champions League yet as managers, but they both got to finals and lost, got close. I remember Tuchel, obviously PSG last year, so that was very, very relevant and very fresh on the memory there. Mbappe and Neymar kind of finishing wasn't up to par, and we couldn't quite get the win. And you guys, I mean, heartbreak against Real Madrid. So it really doesn't get any worse than that. And I'm not trying to make my guests cry, so we're not going to talk about that too much. That is the worst game. But like, I remember it well. I'm not going to go into the finer details. If you remember that game, people, that is like teary moments.
Yeah,
I remember.
Worst.
I mean, I kind of put it on par with Chelsea losing the Champions League final to Man United with the missed penalty from Anelka. Obviously, everybody remembers John Terry's slip. It was actually Anelka who just casually stroked it into Van der Sar's hands. I'm not going to lie, I shed a tear. Do you know what I mean? There was... I was emotional. It was emotional. Look at my voice just getting high pitched. You see what I'm saying? I can't do this, man. But our managers, top managers, what do you make of yours? Because obviously you watch Newcastle and Atletico Madrid religiously, and then you've got two like, I mean, Steve Bruce is just on another level. Let's not talk about him. But your manager's been quite negative, defensive over the years. How is it watching him? Are you okay with the football? Or?
The reason I've been so okay with Simeone's style of football is because it's reliable. That's the only reason. It hasn't really failed us, if you will. Yes, you know, we haven't won as much as probably you would want to, but in terms of reliability, getting far in competitions, doing decently in the league every year, it's been reliable. It's been what he expected. This year, the DNA of Atleti's completely changed. Like our attacking output is equal with our defensive output this year. Obviously, with the introduction of Suarez, who has brought players on like Carrasco, like Felix, who previously weren't performing as, you know, attackingly as they would want to because the system didn't allow it.
Yeah, Felix was starved last year.
Yeah, massively. And he had 2 long-term injuries as well last year, and I thought, oh, God, it was getting to the point at the end of the season. I was like, is this going to be a cut your losses kind of thing where, you know, you're never going to make your money back from him? But right now, I mean, him and Suarez together are just unbelievable to watch. He has just come back from COVID, which worries me slightly because I don't know if that's going to be an effect on the game. On his game, but whether or not it will, I don't know. Fingers crossed it isn't. But it's much nicer to watch because, you know, defensively you're reliable, but also you've got that attacking output where you are going to score goals. So for me, it's been amazing to watch. It's literally been a joy to watch. So much more balance and so much nicer to watch. Obviously, as you can tell, I don't really choose teams that play nice attacking football usually. So it's really nice to have that element. From you. Yeah. I wish it was. I wish I could say it was, but unfortunately, it's not. I think I'm just maybe the jinx. I don't know. Maybe I'm
potentially. I think you said you've been supporting Atletico since you was 9 years old.
9 years old, yeah.
Let me do the maths.
I'm 26 now. So.
Let me do the maths. I was like, damn, you might be it. You know, damn shit.
I think I might be the problem.
Well, Atletico Madrid fans, if anybody watching, you know who to at. This super chat from Matthias says, prep your heart and anxiety for the AC starts tomorrow. I'm guessing that's Christensen. Listen, Carefree Lewis won't want to hear that type of language. He's a massive AC fan. He's on the AC hive. Listen, hopefully he can do a job, like I said, but I wouldn't be confident, is what I'm saying. I remember that Barcelona game as well as anyone, that pass across the back four. It was one of them ones. So I prefer not to speak again. For us, Tuchel, he's been great since he came in. Like I said, he's only been there 1 month and you've had 10 years. So
Simeone had a lot to say about me in his press conference today, actually. A lot of positives. He said, they asked him, they said, how do you feel coming up against Chelsea? We're like, and Diego Simeone's like, I'm more interested in the away tie, but Chelsea have a really strong side and they've got a new coach who, his words were, I was trying to translate as I was listening, but I think his words were, he is a really important coach who has done a job everywhere he's been. So he was pretty decent. And he also said that the game in his mind was 50-50. So he wasn't confident going at the game. He said it was literally 50-50. So, yeah.
Interesting. Whether he's trying to butter us up or he believes that, we will see. But Tuchel is a very respected coach. So I'd say Simeone is speaking facts there. I'm definitely more confident going into this fixture than I would have been with Lampard, just because I felt like that would again been inexperienced going into what is a very experienced manager.
Lampard tactically against Simeone would have been a disaster class, if I'm honest.
It would have been worrying because even behind Lampard, as I spoke about so much at the end of his tenure, just so much inexperience in the coaching staff behind him, Jody, Morris, Edwards. I would have been like, against Simeone in 10 years. Yeah, man, it's too much. Ken Berry says, took off work at 4. This better be respectful at least. I mean, credit to you. Do you know what I'm saying? You've
dedication, that is.
I have to ask before I get into this next really good chat as well. Are Atletico the type of team to go for the kill? Because you said you've been scoring more goals this season. Are you the kind of team that will go for the kill if you smell blood? Or are Atletico under Simeone still a little bit more reserved and, you know, if you go a 1 or 2-1 up, you might just be like, okay, brakes on, let's get ourselves together here.
The problem will be if you score first, then you're going to have an issue because then it's going to be all guns blazing, go for it, because then they'll have realised they've sat back too much. If obviously we score first, I feel like it's going to be a very even game because for some reason, again, despite the attacking output, we still seem to sit back if we feel like the game's done and dusted. Yeah. In second half, we are always a lot stronger in possession, second half. So, as I say, it's a very, very tough game to call because tactically minded, the managers and the systems that they've got are quite similar in terms of the way they set up and things like that. So I think it'll be a very, very interesting game to see how it goes tomorrow.
That's an interesting one because obviously you've held Korn against Bayern Munich in the group stage. So you finished second for a reason, which obviously, I mean, when the draw came out, Chelsea fans were like, me included, anybody but Atletico. Like
it was probably the worst draw you could have asked for, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, worst draw we could have got.
Out of who you could have got, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. It wasn't even close. Someone said here, should we ask Real Madrid to loan us back Hazard for this game only? I mean, if we're gonna get Hazard, like I said, we need Bakayoko back. We need
get the band back together.
Get the band back. The boy band needs to be back together for this game. I'm telling you, Batshuayi, Morata. Who else was part of that? David Luiz, Gary Cahill. Bring them all back. And it's funny because each of these individuals, apart from Hazard, who we just have an unhealthy love for, we wouldn't want them back in any other situation. Any other moment, that's me saying I would like those individuals back. Maybe not Gary Cahill, but this current version of David Luiz, Bakayoko, who's just not ever good when he sticks on a blue shirt. Morata, we've had our beef there. And who else did I mention? Batshuayi. If I was to mention those names and say bring them back, that would be criminal. They would all unsubscribe, dislike the video, check out, and it would be a done. My YouTube career would be over. But for this game in specifically, if you know, you know. That is basically what that all means. Another super chat here. Thank you so much, Drizzy. Suarez is going to smoke Chelsea Swiss cheese defense. Like I said, I'm not confident. Our defense has been good under Tuchel. Like I said, only 2 goals conceded and 1 was an own goal. And I think Rudiger at that point was just kind of just like, yo, we haven't conceded in a while. I need to sabotage this. But the defense could turn into Swiss cheese, is what I will say. What I will say is that Chelsea's defense is not bulletproof at all. That is not the case. You know, we've had our fixtures. We've missed Harry Kane as well against Tottenham, and you know, we are there to be got at if a team takes advantage. For me, Tuchel, from obviously segueing from Simeone, Tuchel's been great since he came in. Obviously, only been a month now, still unbeaten. 2 goals conceded, as I said. Favourable opposition. I think up until now, someone said it really well in my preview. I think it was Mayo before the Southampton game. This has been a pre-season for us up until right now. This is where the season starts, serious season begins, and we've had our prep to play the lower division teams in the Premier League and prepare for this fixture. And now this is like our opening day of the season. I'm not, like I said, I'm not confident for 2 reasons. Mainly because we're missing a key player in Thiago Silva. And then B, when people talk about Chelsea's Champions League runs and us fighting against the odds, there's usually a lot of leadership and experience in that team. And that is what this team severely lacks. You know, it doesn't have your Cahills, your Drogbas, your Ivanoviches, your Lampards. I could go on and on. This team is a little bit, it needs looking after. It reminds me of the old Arsenal team under Wenger, where they're nice guys. They look like a nice group of people, but they need looking after. They need cuddling. They need leading by a manager on the sidelines who's always constantly shouting. But we could get a freak result, but I definitely think you guys are favourites. And the one way to figure out who's favourites is quite an easy thing, is to just do a combined 11, isn't it? Because we'll see just how many players I can.
I was just thinking to myself, there's been so many players who have played for both Chelsea and Atletico Madrid. Like, obviously Morata, Costa, Fernando Torres, Falcao, Thibaut Courtois, Felipe Luis. Literally loads have played for both teams. It's actually mental. And just thinking to myself there, how many people,
There seems to be
This is why I always thought if Diego Simeone was coming to the Premier League, Chelsea would be where he was going. That's why I always thought that.
He is a manager that kind of suits he kind of suits Chelsea. You know, that would be like traditional Chelsea would be Simeone. Someone said Flyers, he was like, don't downplay. Listen, what I'm doing, is I'm setting myself up. If we win, then we'll go mad. If we lose, I told you so. Do you know what I'm saying? Guys, just work with me here. Don't
expect the worst and you can't be disappointed. That's what I always do.
Chelsea need to go under the radar. We're not going to do, like, usually you see a lot of hype from me. That's probably why they're shocked. We're going to go under the radar for this one, boys. It's 2 legs. We got multiple weeks. How many? Is there like a 2-week gap between the fixtures, I think? I think so. We've got a while here. So, like I said, it's 2 legs. Let's go under the radar. Let's talk it down a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Take it down a couple of notches. And then if we win, then hey, we can do all the madness we want. But we have to be, the main thing is that we have to respect it. And I think Tuchel will as well with his selection. We have to respect Atletico Madrid. Like Kendall's been saying, this is not the Atletico Madrid that we're traditionally used to hearing about, which is just pure negative and, you know, they don't go forward and things like that. We are coming up against an Atletico Madrid who have scored goals this season. An Atletico Madrid that have a better balance than Chelsea. You know, Chelsea is struggling to get goals. Chelsea is struggling to be clinical in front of goal and make that killer pass in the final 20 meters, which is exactly what Tuchel said at the end of the Southampton game. We're struggling to be balanced. Atletico are not having those issues. They're a team that have had their manager for donkey's years. They're balanced. You know, they're good going forward. They're good defensively. They've got a structure in place. So, you know, we have to be underdogs. Simply, we have to be underdogs. To get into our combined 11, I mean, goalkeeper. This is going to be a difficult one.
Really?
Oblak goes straight in there.
Oblak, yeah.
I love
what
Mendy.
formation are you going to play?
You guys play 3 at the back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to go 3 at the back then. I think 3-4-3.
Yeah, 3-4-3.
Yeah, I mean, that's what both teams have traditionally been playing. Mendy, I like to call him Elastigirl. Long limbs. Being great for us. Amazing. Superhero type shit.
Since Czech, like, you've really had no luck with
Courtois was good, but second season, he cost us in the Champions League by getting knocked by Messi. I remember that well. Then he snaked us and went to Real Madrid and didn't turn up for training. So, yeah, you're right. Since Petr Cech, we haven't had great luck. But Mendy was never really brought in to be this world-class goalkeeper. He was kind of just to stop.
Do you think it was a panic buy?
Mendy, no, Kepa was a panic buy because we didn't do any scouting. I'm sure we did no scouting on that one. And we paid 70 million release clause plus a 7-year deal for a goalkeeper who wasn't really the stature of a goalkeeper in the Premier League. I think La Liga, maybe you guys, I don't know. In terms of La Liga, is there less crosses, would you feel, when you're watching it in comparison to the Premier League? Less. Yeah,
there's a lot more direct balls in La Liga. I think the players more on the floor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, not so much set pieces and crowd in the box and physical. Yeah, which is what I felt watching La Liga football previously. So Kepa then, he's quite a slender character. He's kind of just a bit taller than Azpilicueta. Not what you look for fundamentally in a goalkeeper. So when they signed him, I was like, we're going to be dealing with crosses and stuff. And you guys have, it doesn't make any sense. But hey, you know, he was good in the first season. Then he's kind of derailed and his confidence is shot. And now, you know, he's had a few good performances with Tuchel, and credit to Tuchel and Marina for poking her nose in there and saying, listen, you got to start him because I need my money back. But he's had a couple of good performances, but he will need to find a new club at some point to move on. 100%. Mendy was well scouted, I think, by Petr Cech and a few others at the club. He's been very good. I think he's got a lot of clean sheets for us this season. I think he's up there top 3, I think, potentially. I don't know exactly the stats. So he's been good. He's not world class, but he's been very good. He's done a job. But yeah, I think Oblak wins that, you know, only just.
Yeah, it's just slightly.
Only just. We'll go with players that are fit. So back 3, I mean, who would you select personally for
Thiago Silva's got to go in there, I think, for you guys.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you know what? We'll do it on the fact that they're not fit, because then Thiago Silva can't be in it, and Jimenez can't be in it. So we'll see a bit more of a.
Okay, that's tough. That's
yeah,
hard.
It'll be more interesting.
I think that both teams haven't got like a really great defense.
Array, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, even though we're defensively reliable, individually, the defenders aren't amazing.
Yeah, so, I get you. It's a structure. It's not really the individuals.
Yes. I think.
Let me see. Because if you're going with defenders that are fit, I'll throw Azpilicueta in there.
Yes, I think Azpilicueta gets in there for me as well.
Just he's been very solid. And he's reliable, so I'll throw him in there. And then after that, I'm not gonna fight. So I'm not gonna fight you.
I like Hermoso for us because he scores as well as he defends. Mario Hermoso. I don't know who you would probably argue with over that from Chelsea in the back 3.
What in the middle part?
No, he normally plays like on the the left of a back 3.
Oh, I'm seeing it. So Hermoso on the left, Azpilicueta on the right, and then in the middle, who do we go with? I mean,
we've only got Felipe, so I wouldn't really.
You wouldn't? Okay.
Unless Savage plays there, as I say. So
I've only really got Christensen to go in the middle. I can't play Rudiger in the middle. People are saying Rudiger's clear of Aspie. Rudiger would play on the left side or the right side. I personally wouldn't have Rudiger ahead of Aspie. I think Aspie. No,
I don't think I would personally.
I think Aspie's just concentration-wise, less error-prone. I know he's not big in stature, but he can fight off duels and hamper a player from getting in. So I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? I'll take AC. I'm just gonna throw in Christensen. If there's a part of the team that you're not confident in, I'm gonna go for it because
I like Stefan Savic, but not a lot of people do. And they probably would argue with me over it, but I like him. It just depends. As I say, he's much more of a classic defender, if you will. But to be honest, he does play on the right a lot, so maybe not in the middle. So it depends.
Well, all right. Well, so we'll go with Aspie, Christensen, and then Hermoso. Hermoso. Yeah. Sounds like a dip. it sounds like a food dip.
I think it's like Hermanos, man. I was gonna say Hermosos is a man, but it's Hermanos. Very fancy.
We've got the Danish Maldini, as Lewis would say. Lewis creaming right now, 100%. AC prop continues. Listen, I don't know how. Listen, if Jimenez was fit and Thiago Silva was fit, he wouldn't be in.
It would be different.
But he has to get in because I mean, who else will we?
I don't think I would put Felipe in there like out of everybody else. So I think,
all right, that's fair.
Probably.
Then across the four. It's going to be an interesting one. We'll start with the wing backs. Left wing back again. I'm not doing propaganda on it. So who have you got?
Okay. See, if we play left wing back, it'll be either Lamar or Lodi, depending on who's fit. And I hate Lodi in the wing back position. I literally hate it.
What? How's Lamar been? Because you spent a lot on him from Monaco. He was Monaco have been very, very suspect here because they've sent Lamar out, Bakayoko out, Mbappe.
There's some fraudulence going on there, I think, somewhere. I don't know what's going on.
Very 50-50 split with him. How's Lamar been for you this season?
He's just come back from coronavirus, and then he had an injury early on in the season. So I like him. Personally, I like him as a player. I think he has got a lot of potential if he gets a run in the team, which unfortunately he doesn't in the system that we have. He just doesn't get a run in the team a lot, unless he's kind of next to Vasalico, and Vasalico's injured now. So I like him. I think he's talented. I really do. But again, as you say, it's very 50-50 with those sorts of players.
Yeah, we can't put Casolo because he's not fit. He's not available, guys.
So we're only going fit, with. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we to make it interesting, we've gone with who's available, which is proving very difficult.
I would definitely have. Well, it depends if you're going for a mid-4. Say, I would have Llorente on the right personally, but that's like right wing back. So
over Reece James and Hudson-Odoi. Okay.
Yes. But as I say, because we play a 3-1-4.
Yeah.
He's a lot more of like an attacker mid than he is a right wing back. If you know
what I would worry then, because Lamar's very attacking, isn't he? So if we used to play Lamar and Llorente, would that not be too attacking? It wouldn't be balanced.
If we play a midfield of Koke and Saul, that will be okay because Koke can drop back as well. So that'll be okay for me, and Saul can hold the ball midfield. So if that's going to be the mid-4, but I have a funny feeling he's going to play Lodi again, even though he had an absolute stinker against Levante. But I would love the 4 to be Lamar, Koke, Saul, and Llorente. That's who I would like the 4 to be.
Yeah, I called Carriasso Coleslaw, or was it? Sometimes, I like butchering names on purpose just to see
Yannick
the chat
Ferreira Carrasco. Belgian as well, which is wild.
It keeps the chat going. Like I am traditionally awful with names, but I know that guy. Do you know what I'm saying? I know how to say his name. Well, I think I said like casserole or something, just to provoke the chat, because then they get the comments and they go nuts and like, it's funny. Do you know what? I can't just go 4 Atletico players across the back. I can't let it happen. I can't. I have to get someone in here.
Llorente is definitely in there for me. I think
right wing back.
Possibly, I think you could possibly stick. I think you'd maybe go with Mount.
That's fair, because I can get Hudson-Odoi in a different way. And to be fair, Hudson-Odoi, he's only played, if we're being real Chelsea fans, he's only played a month at right wing back. And unless he
put Llorente in the middle as like an attacker midfielder.
Where do you think he's better?
I don't like the whole wing back system, but that's how we play. So that's just where he plays, and he has been very, very good there. He has been very, very good on the right. So I think he could probably go in there over. I think he's a better footballer in general over Hudson-Odoi and Reece James. Personally, I feel so he could maybe stick in there.
Hudson-Odoi's only been playing right wing back for a month, so I can't legislate to put him in there. I'm definitely not putting Hudson-Odoi left wing back. We'll go Llorente right wing back. I think that's fair. Reece James is not experienced there either. He's only been playing there for a month. I haven't been blown away. And Hudson-Odoi I can play further forward, hopefully, if I can get him in. It's gonna be rough. This is gonna be difficult, man. Damn. Because I need to get Mason Mount in this team as well. Left wing back, we said Lamar for you. For me, I don't like any of them.
Okay, so Lamar can go in there.
It has to be Lamar. Yeah. It has to be Lamar because I don't really like any of the options.
It would be Carrasco if he was fit, but obviously he's not. So
yeah. I'm not a big fan of Alonso defensively in transition. Chilwell's not playing well, so how could he dare go in? Then the midfield two. Oh, this is rough.
We've got Saul and Koke, who would be our midfield two normally.
Are they at the top of their game? Because Kovacic has been very good for us. That's the one player I want to get in. Not Kante.
I think, Kovacic can probably go in there for me. Saul hasn't been playing consistently in the starting 11 all the time. So if there was going to be just based on consistency, I feel Saul's better than Koke as a footballer, like talented-wise. And obviously he's younger, but Koke is the captain. So then you kind of...
You got to get him in.
Yeah, kind of depends.
We'll go off who's on better form, because for me, Kovacic is in great form for Chelsea.
Yeah.
In terms of out of the midfielders we have, he's been better than Jorginho under Tuchel, and he's been better than Kante. So for everybody spamming Kante, this is partly on who's available and then who's actually on form. And Kante's not on form, so I can't put Kante in there. I can't. So Kovacic would be for me. Who would be your person to put alongside him?
I'll go with Saul probably. Saul probably would be work better in there, I think, than Koke. Even though I like Koke, and I do like him. He's number 6, which is my birthday, so I always like him anyways. But he's kind of been playing as a DM, so Saul can go in there for me. I think he's a little bit better than Koke.
Okay. Apparently we found a fake rants, fake rants and bants. If you guys find a fake account, well, basically Rance's real account is a mod. So I've made a lot of the YouTubers where there's fakes. I've made them mods.
So you can tell.
So if there's no blue key, block him. There you go, mods. It's very simple. I've made your life easier. And then in the fake 10 positions, I guess, and then obviously the forward, I feel like Joao Felix and Suarez have to be part of that front three. They have to. So Joao Felix and Suarez have to be part of that front three, which leaves me with one position, and it's basically Mason Mount or Hudson-Odoi. Oh, God.
I think you've got to put Mount in there, just personally, just based on form.
It's got to be, hasn't it?
Got to be Mount based on form.
Consistency-wise, he's been up there. Yeah, I think Mount's got to be in there.
Mount's not a world beater for me. He's just very consistent. Very consistent.
Yeah. He's been consistent. He's been stepping up. And then Hudson-Odoi is definitely your super sub off the bench, the first one out. He's been good, very good Hudson-Odoi under Tuchel. But in this instance, it's a difficult one because he's been playing half of the games at right wing back, half of the games in the 10s, but we can't really put him ahead of Felix right now in terms of output. And look at the chat going absolutely crazy. So, hey, before I continue to piss you guys off, I'm going to move on from the combined 11 so swiftly. Mason Mount isn't a good mid. The thing is with Mason Mount is that, yes, he has definitely got areas where he needs to improve, but he's been extremely consistent for us this season. Definitely top 3 for players of the year, probably top 2. Thiago Silva I'd have slightly ahead. So, I understand he has a lot of haters, so I'm not going to even bother. Do you know what I mean? That's just my opinion. Like I said, leave your combined 11s in the chat below. Let me know who you would go with, and then then we'll see. Or leave it in the comments after the video as well. We'll see. We'll get into score predictions as well. Of course, we have to do that. Put ourselves on the line here. I'll start with you, so I can give myself more time to think.
I think it is going to be 2-1 Atleti.
2-1 Atleti.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying all the time. So
it's not a bad prediction, to be honest. It's not a bad, because you said you feel like it's going to be a tight game.
I do, yes, I really do.
I'm probably going to go with. I'm going to be optimistic, but I'm not going to be deluded. I'm going to go with a 1-1. Someone called Hudson-Odoi season just said Matisse sold us. So you guys all rep players, man. I can't do that, man. I'm a big YouTuber. I have to be sensible. I'm going to go with a 1-1. I think that's Chelsea's best hope. I mean, I'd love for us to win, but I just don't think we're clinical enough to get that second goal. And I do think we'll probably concede. To get a clean sheet at Atletico Madrid would be incredible. But I do think Suarez and Felix will be the men to do it. So I'll go over 1-1. I think 1-1 would be a great scoreline for us. It keeps the tie in the balance, obviously, but we get the away goal. And then, I think that really kind of wraps it up. Thank you to the chat for joining us. It's been about 550 of you. Someone said I'm trolling. I'm not trolling. Just leave me your combined 11s in the comment section. Don't bully me too much. Obviously, we have Big 6 at 10. Kendall, it's been absolutely brilliant to have you on. Great.
No, thank you for having me. Genuinely, thank you.
No, it's been great, honestly, to get your insight and knowledge on Atletico. I couldn't have picked anyone better. Obviously, I saw you on Lewis's stream. You did a fantastic job there as well. And let the people know where to find you as well, please.
Just Kendall Rowan on all socials, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Obviously, you'll find me over on the Football Terrace as well, where I host a show on Fridays at 9 p.m. And also appear on several other shows on there. I'm pretty much on there all the time now. So, if you want to find me, you probably will in the YouTube sphere somewhere.
100%. And people, make sure if you want to check out more of Kendall's on socials, you've got the links in the description there. You've got a YouTube channel as well. Is that going to be, you be uploading on that? What's going on there?
See, this is the problem. I forget to upload on my own channel because I do everyone else's streams. So I really need to do my own. I'm really going to start doing my own.
Yeah, never forget, never neglect home. All right, never neglect home, ladies and gentlemen. Remember your channel, because I've got your link in the description there. So guys, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, you may get some content on there soon, hopefully as well. And it's been an absolute pleasure. And like I said, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. I think if you're not looking forward, I know we're not, Chelsea fans. We're kind of confident, we're kind of not. But if you're not looking forward to a game in the Champions League knockouts under the lights, then why do you even follow football? Do you know what I mean? Anything can happen. Kendall thinks it's going to be a close game, which is encouraging. Both teams are missing their star centre backs, which is encouraging and disappointing. So it balances it out. I think this is an opportunity for Chelsea, for a lot of those senior players who were kind of phased out at the start of the season under Lampard, to really step up and prove why they should be at this football club. I think Roman Abramovich will definitely be watching from his yacht. Anybody who doesn't deliver will probably get some sort of backhand in the summer and just be out the door. That's kind of how it goes with the senior players, because they've been pressurizing to play. They've been asking for it. So this is your moment, guys. Let's see what you can do. Like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure. Check us out tomorrow for the review with Dami and Anita. That's going to be wild. Regardless of what happens, that's going to be wild. And I'll catch you guys next time. I'll see you in the Big 6 in 8 minutes. See you guys later. Thank you so much, Kendall, for joining us as well.
No, thank you for having me.
In a bit, people.
Perfect.